Hit record right now. Okay. Now I'm going to do a screen share. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for getting on. Okay. Oh, it says June 9th. I didn't change that. This is last week's team call that I was going to do on just kind of revitalizing our business. I know I've had a bunch of people come to me and say, I just need to get started again. Like they feel like they've just kind of dropped off. And so this is for you. If you feel like you just kind of need a kick in the pants to just get going again, this is for you. It's how to revitalize your business. This is actually not just for people who feel like they need a kick in the pants. This is for me too, you guys. I have needed this exact same thing. So, okay, I've had a lot of people tell me the market is too saturated with coaches. And so I actually looked at the actual numbers. As of last Thursday, there were 455,000 coaches, 455. Okay, so that does sound like a lot. We'll just be completely honest. I've had a lot of coaches say it's not fun anymore. I've had a lot of coaches say it's too hard. I'm not making the money I thought I would fast enough. And then I've had other people say it's too much of my time and it's too complicated. So when they come to me, when I hear this kind of stuff, I just think, okay, we need to sit back down and go over what your why is. Okay, why did you start coaching? Really, just stop and think about that. Why did I start coaching? What was it that I was hoping to get out of it? Is that reason still keeping you motivated? Is that enough? I know some people, they start with a why, and sometimes that's not enough to keep them going, and they need to figure out a different why. My why has changed over time. My initial why was actually just because I wanted to change things for my family. I wanted to change what my family history was like with my dad, who's dying of obesity complications. And that's what got me started, but that's not what's kept me going over the almost 3 years now, 3 years of coaching. So your why has to kind of progress with you. If it's not keeping you motivated to keep going, you need to dig deeper and find a bigger why. Do you love it? I was actually talking with one of my best friend coaches 2 nights ago. We actually sat down and Zoomed, and she was just struggling. She's struggling with coaching. And I asked her, I said, do you love it? Is it fun for you? Because you guys, first of all, if it's not fun, if you're not finding joy in coaching and you don't love it, then you need to ask yourself, can I love it again? What is it about it that is making me not enjoy it? What's making me not love it right now? And she actually, her reason was another coach who was kind of making it not so much fun for her. And I said, okay, well, if you took that person out of the equation, would it be fun? And she said, yeah, actually, I really love working with women. I love doing all this other stuff. It's just this person is kind of dragging it down. So I want you guys to think about that. Do you really love coaching? Do you love what you're doing? If you can't love it, if you just think you're not ever going to enjoy it, you need to stop. And that's going to be my little hashtag tell the truth or whatever those things are. If you guys don't like it, if you don't love what you're doing, if you don't love coaching, then stop, because you shouldn't be doing something that you don't love. You just shouldn't. You should find something that you love, that you're passionate about, and do that instead. Okay, we don't get burned out by what we do. We only get burned out when we forget why we're doing this. And I've heard so many coaches say, I'm just so burned out. We're not burned out because we're coaching. We're burned out because we're forgetting why we're coaching. So some things to consider. Are you checking into the team page? Are you engaged in your team? This is kind of a huge thing. If you're engaged in your team, you're engaged with other coaches around you, it's going to make it a whole lot easier for you to be coaching and for you to kind of incorporate it with your life. Have you completed all the Coach Basics trainings either offered by the team or in the Coach Online office? If you guys haven't checked out the Coach Online office training, go and check it out. It's actually pretty fantastic. Are you plugged into the team calls? Are you using your business activity tracker? And just so you guys know what that is, we actually have it in the files section, but I have mine right here. Hopefully you guys can see it right here on my desk. I actually keep it on top of my desk. And are you listening to the national wake-up calls? Okay. Another thing, it doesn't matter what others are doing. It matters what you are doing. And I know Brigitte posted this in her team page while she was gone last week, but I really actually stopped to think about this. When I first started coaching, I really had a hard time not comparing myself to other coaches. Even up to a year and a half in, it was really hard not to compare how I was doing compared with other coaches. Especially if you guys don't know Keisha Fitzgerald, she and I started coaching almost the exact same time. We went 2-star together, and then within the next 6 months, she completely shot up the ladder, and I was still 2-star. And it was really hard for me to sit back and not think to myself, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Because it seemed like there had to be something that I was doing wrong. But I had to sit back and just kind of put my blinders on and just not worry about what she's doing. We are completely different lifestyles. She and I, we're completely different parts of the country. We have completely demographics that we're targeting. And so I really had to just stop and think, this is me. I can't look at what Keisha's doing. I can't look at how well she's doing and compare myself to that, because that's not me. And we're always going to be different. So getting back to the basics, this is something I really wanted to focus on this month with our team, just because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not going to be helping take care of other people and get other people on their own fitness journeys. So the first thing, are you being proof of the product? Not just so you can go out and showcase yourself, but just for you. This is something that you need to be doing for you. Are you consistently working out and using Shakeology? Not so you can go and show off and say, look how good this works, but so you can feel good inside about yourself. Are you keeping yourself educated on fitness and nutrition? Okay, so this is kind of a big one with me. One of my biggest pet peeves is when someone will comment on something and they don't know what they're talking about with nutrition. It kind of drives me nuts. I was in the Ultimate Reset group, and someone had asked a comment, or they had asked a question where we were getting our protein in. And this, I think it was in the week 2. In week 2, you get beans and lentils and brown rice and quinoa. And someone else said, oh, you get it from the beans. You get your protein from the beans. And this girl commented back and said, but I thought beans were a carb, because she's obviously done the 21-day fix. And this other girl said, well, it's a carb if you eat it by itself, but it's a protein if you pair it with another carb. And my head wanted to blow up, because things don't switch, like something doesn't automatically become a carb or a protein. Like, just educate yourself on what nutrition is, what carbs are, what fats are, what protein is, just the basics. It's something that you guys can teach your challengers. If you're not educating yourself, then when your challenger comes and asks you questions, you're not going to know how to answer some of them. Okay, another one, are you sharing your journey? So it doesn't have to be, posting your fitness pictures all the time. But one person on our team that I noticed, she shares her journey quite a bit, is Elena. She does a fantastic job of always showing pictures of where she's been and where she's at now. And she talks about how she's still not where she wants to be. She's still continuing to work on her health and fitness, and it's a journey for her. But she does a really good job of sharing befores and afters, sharing her journey, showing that she's working out. And I think she does a fantastic job. Another question, are you consistent? People that watch you on Facebook are going to be able to tell if you haven't, they're going to be able to tell, well, so-and-so, she hasn't been working out for like this last couple of weeks. We haven't seen a picture of it. And it's not to show the pictures, just so they can see that you're working out, but that is part of being consistent. Sharing your journey is part of the consistency. Are you consistent just for yourself? Are you doing this for you? And are you being consistent to show yourself that you can be consistent? And then the 4 vital behaviors, being proof of the product, inviting people, personal development. This is another huge one, you guys, that really gets overlooked so often, personal development. And then recognition too. And the recognition applies back to our challenge groups as well. Recognizing people in our groups. You can do that on your Facebook page. Obviously, ask their permission and just say, hey, I think you've been so great. Can I just give you a quick shout out and say how proud I am of you? But doing things like that will get other people watching you saying, oh, wow, her challenge groups are really going well. That's really cool that this person did so well. And then how to be happy. Because if you're not happy coaching, then you need to figure out what is going to make you happy. So how to be happy. I should have done this. How to be happy with coaching. Don't base your self-worth on your successes, meaning rank, hitting Success Club, hitting Elite or Premier. Because if you base your self-worth on that and you don't hit it, you're not going to be happy. So your self-worth doesn't depend on that. Your self-worth is just innate. You are worthy just because you are. It's not because you hit Diamond or you are Success Club 10 All-Star or you've hit Elite. That doesn't make you worthy. You are worthy of those things, but they don't make you worthy. Don't expect people to say yes. Honestly, actually, probably 95% of the people that you talk to are going to say no. So just expect that. That's actually, I tell people, just expect people to say no. And when they say yes, that's when you can be like, oh, wow, someone said yes. This is awesome. Like, just expect that people are going to tell you no. And so when you go in asking them, you're going to expect them to say no. So when they say yes, that's actually going to make you happy. It's going to make you happy rather than expecting people to say yes. Again, don't compare yourself to other coaches. You guys got my story on why not to do that. But then also on the flip side of that, don't compare yourself to other coaches who, maybe they've been coaching just as long as you and you've hit Emerald and they still don't have any coaches. Like, don't compare yourself to other people that way too, because that can get you too complacent, like just too comfortable in your own stuff. Just put your blinders on and work. Make yourself uncomfortable sometimes, but work and just focus on yourself. And then don't think too much. That's something I think a lot of us do sometimes is we overthink things. So when someone asks a question, we overthink things on how to respond, or we overanalyze the things that we say. So don't do that. Just talk to them like they're your best friend, like you're on the phone with them and talking about, maybe if someone called and said, hey, tell me about the Ultimate Reset. What would you say to your best friend? That's all you need to do. All you need to do is just tell them what you would tell your best friend if you were on the phone with them. And then don't be negative. This is it should be an easy thing for people to realize, but just we attract what we put out. So if we're putting negative out, we're going to attract more negativity. And so just work on, if you feel like you're negative, just work on putting positive out. That's something I try to teach my kids too. Let's not work on putting negativity out, because we don't want to attract more of that. We want to attract more positivity. Okay. So that's what I had for you guys. But one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about as well, and hopefully you guys know this too, but a lot of people, I think, especially coaches, we get stuck with our own health and fitness, and we get stuck and we don't know where to go from there. And so I've actually been talking with quite a few coaches who maybe they've lost a good amount of weight, but they are stuck. They've plateaued. So if you guys are in that position where you just feel stuck, you feel like you've plateaued, one thing a lot of coaches don't realize is this goes back to the whole nutrition stuff. You guys know that this is like my thing. But there's something called a basal metabolic rate. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Okay. So those of you who don't, your basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body needs just to exist. And for a lot of people, like just for me, for example, I'll screen share. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see my screen? We'll get out of that. Oh, it actually stopped the screen share. Okay, hang on. Okay, so going to do different stuff. Okay, so the basal metabolic rate is just how many calories your body needs to support your vital bodily functions if you were in bed resting all day long. Okay, so this actually gives you the equation on how to figure it out. But for me, I'll show you what mine is. Oh, good heavens. Okay. 67 inches, that's 5 foot 7 inches, right? Okay, so you guys see my basal metabolic rate is 1,564 calories. Can you guys see that? Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I'm not a guy. I did it on the wrong spot. Let me try again. If I was a guy, it would be 1,564 calories. Okay, there it is. It's 1,398 calories. See, it's unfair. Guys get way more calories. Okay, so mine is 1,398 calories. Okay, so the reason that this is important for you guys to recognize, when I do the 21-day fix and I go ahead and put my numbers in, it puts me in the lowest bracket. And I've tracked my calories, and it actually, usually when I'm doing that, it has me around 12 to 1,300 calories. You guys can see by my basal metabolic rate, I'm not supposed to be under 1,400 calories a day, just for survival. So if I'm taking in less than 1,400 calories, I may lose weight for a while, but then I'm going to plateau. And then I'm not going to lose weight, and I'm just going to hang on to weight. So if you guys feel like you might be in that position, I want you guys to just kind of figure out what your basal metabolic rate is and figure out from there how many calories you guys should be eating. So you can do that based on your basal metabolic rate and then multiply that by, there's a couple different formulas. So if you're at a desk job and you work out but you're at a desk job most of the day, then I believe it's 1.2. If you're more active throughout the day, it's 1.4. So there's a couple different calculations that you can figure it out. But when I did this, my calculations said that I shouldn't be under 1,700 calories a day. And that's just me chasing after kids. That's not including my workout burn. So 1,700 calories is like my bare minimum, which it's always been way lower with the 21-day fix. So that's just something to keep in mind, like something that you guys can keep in mind for yourself and for your challengers. If your challengers feel like they're getting stuck, when I have people that do this, I always tell them not to go into the lowest tier. Don't do the lowest tier with the 21-day fix because that's way too low for almost every single person. So anyway, just a little bit of fitness and nutrition information for you guys. But how are you guys doing? Do you guys have any questions? Anything I can help you with? Anything? No, we're all good. Okay, you guys have a great night, okay?
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.